Ever wondered what might shock you in Brazil, a country famous for its vibrant culture and warm people? As we set off on this journey of understanding, let's first delve into the concept of cultural taboos. These are social or religious customs restricting certain behaviors, a kind of do not disturb sign for cultural sensitivities. Every society has them, but Brazil's taboos might catch you off guard. Why? Because they often contradict the global image we've painted of Brazil, the land of samba, football, and carnival. Brazil is a melting pot of rich cultures, a country that swings to its own rhythm, a rhythm that's as captivating as it is unique. But beneath the surface of this vibrant, warm, and welcoming society, there are underlying norms that might surprise you. For instance, you might think of Brazilians as laid-back, fun-loving people who are always ready for a good party. And while that's not entirely wrong, there's a flip side to this coin. Brazilians are deeply traditional, holding on to customs and beliefs that have been passed down through generations. They are a people rooted in family values with a deep respect for elders and a strong sense of community. And then there's the paradox of Brazilian friendliness. They're known for their open, welcoming nature, yet there are unspoken rules about personal space and interactions. It's a dance of intimacy and distance that can be hard to navigate for the uninitiated. Brazil is also a land of superstitions. From lucky charms to evil eye deflectors, not stepping over a child to not letting your purse touch the ground, these beliefs are woven into the fabric of everyday life. And let's not forget about the culinary customs. Brazil's diverse gastronomy is a feast for the senses, but there are unspoken rules here too. From the way you eat, to the foods you should never refuse, it's a culinary minefield waiting to be navigated. But don't let these taboos intimidate you. They're part of the charm, the allure, the mystique that is Brazil. They're what makes Brazil, well, Brazil. Buckle up, for we are about to dive deep into some intriguing Brazilian taboos that could leave you flabbergasted. The clock ticks differently in Brazil, doesn't it? In many parts of the world, punctuality is considered a virtue. However, in Brazil, time is viewed quite differently. It's not uncommon for Brazilians to arrive an hour or even 2 hours late to social gatherings. This relaxed attitude towards time is deeply ingrained in their culture. Picture this: you're invited to a dinner party. You show up right on the dot, only to find that you're the first one there. The host is still in their bathrobe and the food is not even close to being ready. This is a classic example of Brazilian punctuality, or should we say, lack of it. This isn't to say that Brazilians don't value time, it's just that they have a more relaxed approach to it. They value relationships and personal connections more than sticking to a strict schedule. So, next time you have a meeting in Brazil, remember, on time might mean something entirely different. Are you a fan of personal space? Well, Brazilians might not agree with you. In Brazil, the concept of personal space is quite different from many other parts of the world. Conversations are often conducted at close quarters, with plenty of physical contact. It's not unusual for a Brazilian to touch your arm, lean in close, or even hug you during a chat. Let's consider an everyday scenario. Imagine you're at a lively festival in Salvador, surrounded by the pulsating rhythm of samba. A local strikes up a conversation with you, and before you know it, you're engaged in a warm, animated dialogue inches apart. This is the Brazilian way, an open, affectionate approach to social interaction that might feel unusual initially, but is simply a part of their vibrant culture. So the next time you find yourself in a Brazilian crowd, remember to embrace this cultural norm. After all, in Brazil, a hug is more than just a hug, it's a way of life. Brazilian dinner tables have their own set of rules. Are you ready to learn? Now let's dive into the world of Brazilian dinner etiquette, where a blend of old traditions and new trends create a unique dining experience. Firstly, let's talk about the big no-no of eating with your hands. Brazilians have a fondness for utensils. Even for foods that many cultures would eat with their hands, like pizza or a sandwich, Brazilians prefer to maintain a certain elegance by using a fork and knife. Picture yourself at a bustling pizzeria in São Paulo, surrounded by locals expertly cutting their slices into bite-sized pieces with their utensils. It's a sight to behold and a practice to adopt when you're dining out in Brazil. Moving on to another important aspect, elbows on the table. It's a common courtesy worldwide to not rest your elbows on the table while eating, but in Brazil, it's taken quite seriously. Picture a traditional Brazilian family dinner, the table laden with delicious feijoada and farofa. Amidst the laughter and stories, you'll notice that no one, from the youngest to the oldest, has their elbows on the table. It's a sign of respect to the food and to the company you're sharing it with. Now let's talk about the act of toasting. In Brazil, it's not just about clinking glasses, it's a moment of connection, a celebration of togetherness. Remember, always look into the eyes of the person you're toasting with. It's seen as a sign of genuine warmth and sincerity. Imagine yourself at a lively dinner party in Rio, the air filled with the sounds of samba, raising a glass of caipirinha to toast with your new Brazilian friends. In summary, Brazilian dinner etiquette is all about respect and connection. It's about appreciating the food, the company, and the moment. So, the next time you find yourself at a Brazilian dinner table, remember these rules. Embrace the culture, enjoy the cuisine, and don't forget, no elbows on the table and no eating with your hands. Remember, when in Brazil, do as the Brazilians do, especially at the dinner table. Words can be tricky, especially in Brazil. Curious to know why? In a country as diverse and vibrant as Brazil, it's essential to tread carefully when it comes to conversation. Brazilians are known for their warm and friendly nature, but there are certain topics and phrases that might not go down too well. Let's delve into some of these verbal taboos. Firstly, it's important to remember that Brazil is not just one big carnival. Referring to Brazil as a never-ending party might sound like fun to you, but for Brazilians it's a stereotype that undermines their rich culture and day-to-day life. Next, be cautious with your football loyalties. Football is a religion in Brazil and team allegiances run deep. If you're not familiar with the local teams, it's best to avoid the topic altogether. Making a casual remark about a team you know little about could land you in hot water. Now let's talk about money. Discussing personal wealth or asking about someone's income is considered impolite. Brazilians value modesty and humility, and flaunting wealth is generally frowned upon. Another topic to steer clear of is politics. Brazilians have strong political views and debates can get heated quickly. Unless you're well versed in Brazilian politics and ready for a passionate discussion, it's best to stick to safer topics. On a lighter note, never refuse food when it's offered to you. Brazilians take great pride in their cuisine, and refusing a home-cooked meal could be seen as disrespectful. Even if you're full, it's always polite to accept a little more. Lastly, avoid making assumptions about people's racial or ethnic backgrounds. Brazil is a melting pot of different cultures, and assumptions can often be inaccurate and offensive. The next time you strike up a conversation in Brazil, be sure to choose your words wisely. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Being respectful and considerate goes a long way in any culture, and Brazil is no exception. Brazil, a land of samba, football, and taboos? Yes, indeed, as we've journeyed through this vibrant and captivating country, we've explored some of the unique cultural customs and taboos that make Brazil a place of intrigue and wonder. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered. We started off by delving into the concept of Brazilian time, a flexible approach to punctuality that can often leave foreigners baffled. Yet, for Brazilians, it's simply part of the laid-back lifestyle they embrace so warmly. Next, we navigated the tricky waters of personal space, or the lack thereof, in Brazil. If you're not one for close encounters, this might take a bit of getting used to. But remember, it's all part of the Brazilian way of showing friendliness and warmth. Then, we sat down to dinner, where we unearthed some surprising etiquette rules. From not resting your hands on the table to the curious practice of insisting guests take the last piece of food, it's clear that dining in Brazil is an experience in itself. We also learned about some of the things that are better left unsaid in Brazil, from avoiding negative comments about the country to steering clear of certain hand gestures. It's clear that the Brazilian way of communication is a delicate dance. So what does all this tell us? It's clear that Brazil is a culture of contradictions. It's a place where laid-back attitudes coexist with strict etiquette rules, where warm friendliness is balanced with certain unspoken boundaries. But isn't that what makes it so fascinating? The blend of old and new, tradition and innovation, all wrapped up in a vibrant, samba-infused package. So that's a wrap on our journey through the fascinating world of Brazilian taboos. Remember, culture is a complex tapestry, and in Brazil, it's one full of surprises. What do you think of these Brazilian taboos? Have you encountered any surprising customs during your travels? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content on cultural quirks from around the world. See you next time.